The other day I saw a message actually because I was just going through my gym CRM, and this one person answered back after like 10 automated text messages. She said, "Sorry, which gym is this? I opted into so many." And like that's the reality. Like that, everybody has to know that. Like they're not just opting into your gym; they're opting into all of these gyms. So like you have to stick out and just be a point of contact. So
it was an agency. One of their promises is like, we'll get you to 100 members in your first 6 months, or we'll work for free until we do. The leads were so bad that 6 months in, that we got to that 6-month mark, we didn't reach 100 members. We were gained like 30 people, I think. They did work for free, but I fucking fired them because I didn't even want their free work. All right, welcome back, Little Jim Big Heart, my interview series. I'm here with a very special guest, Mike Lisi, founder of Ignite Entrepreneurs. We recently made the switch to working with them as our marketing agency, and they do so much more than just lead acquisition. So, Mike, why don't you introduce yourself, and then we can get into what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, what's up, Dev? Thank you. I'm a longtime fan of this podcast too, so it's pretty cool being on. I do love this podcast. I've learned a lot from this podcast myself. Yeah, man. And yeah, I'm the founder of Ignite. We started a little over, just about 2 years ago on the marketing agency side. Yeah, I had 2 gyms as well. So one is RAF in West Hempstead, Long Island, and one is Next 4 in Glen Head. So we've been in the gym game for 11 years about right now, and got really heavy into the marketing side probably 4 years ago, and then made the switch to do this full time about 2 years ago.
Nice. What does RAF stand for?
Yeah, that's a long story. So it was originally Rise Above Fitness.
Got it.
We started it Rise Above Fitness, and that's what it was called for about 3 years till I got a letter in the mail saying this gym in California wanted to sue us because they were called Rise Above Fitness, and everybody knew us already as RAF, so we just called it RAF. And then from there,
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Well, now there's that new, I don't know if you follow combat sports, there's that new UFC like offshoot called RAF, RAF, Real American Freestyle. So
I did see that.
your Google searches are probably going to go up, I imagine.
Yeah.
You might you might even get some people opting in thinking that you're associated, like a fitness program associated with that. Have you seen that at all?
I saw a commercial for it the other day. Actually, I was watching football yesterday. Actually, but yeah, we'll see what that brings. Maybe I'll get sued again. Who knows?
Hopefully, you don't want to fuck with the UFC getting sued. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. No.
All right. So listen, we recently made the switch. We were looking for something new, something a little more specialized for our growth plans. I mean, you really impressed me in the conversations that you and I have had. I knew some people that were working with you, Andy McCloy, Luca Hosevar, the guys over at Varsity House and Business of Strength spoke so highly of you that we made the switch to working with Ignite for our lead acquisition. But since getting started, we found so much more value than just running ads. And I think that's kind of what you hang your hat on, is like, it's not just about running ads, it's the rest of the CRM system, the follow-up process. What's your background? Like, how did you fall into this Ignite Entrepreneurs space?
Yeah, so I mean, just like, I'm a gym owner first, right? So I've been a gym owner for 11 years. So like, just like every other gym owner, like I've been burned by different agencies, and not really burned, but it's just more like unprepared, right? So all these like, you see all these ads for like 30 members in 30 days and all that stuff from like agencies, right? And it's
Yeah.
all bullshit because like nobody can do that for you, right? It's really it's all BS. And people can get you 30 leads and flood you with leads, that's for sure. But the problem is like actually fulfilling them properly. And a lot of the time, like for me at least in the beginning, when I was younger and we would run ads at different agencies, we had no fulfillment process at all. I mean, shit, we're going through your process now, the dialer and all that stuff, like how you know like locked in you guys are with that process. We didn't even know where our leads were going to because I didn't know anything,
Yeah.
years ago. So we were just spending money on ads and we had no idea. They're going to a spreadsheet, weren't even getting contacted. So we always say a great offer is only as great as its fulfillment, and that's like the main That's the main goal, right? So it's
Yeah,
fulfilling
'cause
people.
yeah, and use that word fulfillment. You don't always hear that in the fitness industry space. Why don't you expand on what you mean by that term fulfillment?
Yeah, fulfillment can mean a thousand different things, but for me, what it means like with a lead is just making sure that they are taken care of in every step of the way. So from when they opt in, is the contact point happening? Does your staff know? Are they calling them, right? Is that happening properly? And then also fulfillment on the member side. So, and we just worked with you on this as well, is like, member journey side. So like, yeah, you sign somebody up, great, but like, what's the next steps? Because retention's key, right? If you can
Right.
keep these people longer and increase their lifetime value, right? So for me, that's what fulfillment means is, doing the right thing after you get a lead, after you get a member, so you can increase the experience of the customer.
Yeah, so it's funny. Again, you don't hear that term very often in the fitness space in the gym world. But so my first job out of college was I worked in, I get chirped for this sometimes. I was working in a ballet shoe warehouse, in shipping and receiving, and fulfillment was my job, is like fulfilling the orders. And when I think of that word fulfillment, I really do think it's so applicable to what you do because it's fulfilling the needs that the person is applying for from like the initial opt-in all the way through their membership journey. Like when they opt in, you're getting them the information as fast as possible. You're translating that information. For example, where a lot of things break here is a
Yep.
lead might come in on an ad for like a five for $25, 5 sessions for $25 deal. And the salesperson, if they don't know the exact offer that they opted in for, they might start talking about one free session or a free week, or they might sell it, try to push them for a sale. And if that isn't clearly carried from like that opt-in page to the salesperson, there's going to be a lack of congruence, and there's the likelihood that the lead's not going to convert. And then, same thing when they sign up, the trainer that's working with them, they need to know what that person opted in for and what they redeemed. So it's fulfillment all the way through and through, like getting the customer what they want as fast and as conveniently as possible.
Yeah, and like you said, and kind of like communicating that across to your team too. Like that's the key part too. And not only the offer, but like their goals too, right?
Yeah.
If after your first, week or 2 weeks, if you have that in your member journey to call somebody after 14 days to check in on their goal that they said when they first walked in, the chances are that person's going to appreciate that and stay longer with your business, right? So
Yeah.
having those prompts, right, are key. And we talk like member journey fulfillment, it's not all and automating that. People think like, I don't want to automate that process, but it doesn't mean it has to be automated to the consumer. It could be automated to your team, creating tasks, creating, internal notifications to your staff, anything that will help increase their experience and get them the results that they first opted in for anyways.
Yeah, my friend Andy McCloy said this years ago. I bet he's become a little more technically inclined, but one thing he said that stuck with me is like automation or like kipping pull-ups. Um,
Yeah.
it's like you need to have a strong foundation of strength. Like you need a strong business foundation if you want to automate anything. Like you can't automate just a shitty business or
No,
a business that
no.
doesn't have it together. So yeah, you're right. There's different levels of automation, but like if you want to do something more advanced like automation, you need to build it on top of a very, very solid foundation. Um, I don't think anybody really talks about kipping pull-ups being good anymore, except for, competitive CrossFitters, but
Yeah.
definitely shouldn't do them if you don't have a very strong strength foundation. So anyway, that's a tangent.
No, that's very true. And listen, as much as we are like automation people and marketing on the marketing side, like products first, always. Like that's just key, right? It's
Yeah.
always product first, no matter what business it is. Because if not, you're just building on top of shit. Like that's it, you
Yeah.
know? So
So before we get into, how Ignite might be able to help people that might be listening, what are the things that a business that, they could be struggling in any area of the marketing, fulfillment, even lifetime journey stuff. What are the staples that every gym just needs to nail down and systemize?
yeah, we like to look at the three pillars. That's what we like to call it. So the prospecting side, the member side, because you're still marketing to your members, you're trying to keep them around, and then the reactivation side, right? Like so, like when somebody enters your world, there should never not be contacted. There should never not be a clear path of where they're going next, right? So when they opt in, right, there's there's the path, there's the prospect part of, from their opt-in, what are the next steps to get them to a trial, a consultation, whatever that may be. And then from there, once they sign up, like it's not over, right? That's when the member journey stuff kicks in. And then look, in the gym business, unfortunately, like people are going to leave. So once they leave, is there stuff in place for your team to know, who's your activation list and what's happening with those people as well? I think if you nail those three, like you're set up for success, and it doesn't have to be too complicated, as long as you can just get a system that you can consistently follow.
Yeah. Now, what would you say on all three? Like, what are the staple kind of elements of the prospecting, the member journey? And like ours is obviously very advanced because our shit is like
Yeah.
bouncing between different sub accounts and we have a centralized marketing, centralized sales. For the normal gym owner, somebody that's maybe just venturing into this world of like, all right, we really need to improve the customer experience or the user experience. Prospecting wise, like what would you tell somebody listening they need to nail down?
Yeah. No, 100%. I mean, you guys are super advanced, so it's hard for you to even probably grasp this, but like people don't even know what a sales pipeline is.
Yeah,
Like that's the truth. So I was just on a call with somebody today. He's all from a gym owner, all from his phone, texting people. That's just how it is. I always do this on sales calls. I'll opt into their website beforehand, and believe it or not, like more than 50%, I don't get anything back,
yeah.
which is
Dude,
pretty
we've
crazy.
we've done tests like Jeff has opted into a bunch of places. Nobody calls. Nobody calls back, or they call back once and drips off. So for those listening, knowing that, just
Yeah.
staying on top of calling a lead back and like re-contacting them puts you in like such an elite percentage, and it's so
Uh,
fucking simple.
It's insane. The other day I saw a message actually because I was just going through my gym CRM, and this one person answered back after like 10 automated like text messages. She said, "Sorry, which gym is this? I opted into so many." And like that's the reality. Like everybody
Yeah,
has to know that. Like they're not just opting into your gym, they're opting into all these gyms. So like you have to stick out and just be a point of contact. So the main thing that we like to do is we'll just customly build their sales pipeline out. So it's like, okay, like Devin, what's your sales process? What do you guys do? Is it phone call first, then consultation, then trial? Is it just a trial? Whatever it may be, we take that, we build out the pipeline, we build out some simple automations for them, and that's it. We don't want to overcomplicate because if you do that, then they're going to get lost too. And we do a good job at onboarding because we'll take 2 calls a week with these people until they feel comfortable. Because if they're not comfortable, they're not going to use it. And then it's just, at a business standpoint, they're going to drop off our business. We know that. So we want to provide the value of, giving them what they first came to us for.
yeah. So if somebody were to build this on their own, what is the optimal like lead touch point schedule? Like ours is a little wonky because we have a full-time sales rep, but for an operator that maybe they don't have a full team, they've got a CRM system, like how would you even just without giving away all the trade secrets, like what would be the touch
Yeah.
point schedule that Ignite recommends?
Yeah, I mean, look, like if you're a one-man shop, which there is a good amount of people that we work with are one-man shop, I mean, you can rely on automation and just for text messaging and emails, like that should always be in place. So we have a whole sequence built out for about 21 days, and after that, I'll dump them into lost leads. But that has a sequence as well in the lost leads.
So
But
it's a 21-day series.
21-day series, for the front side, but then there's always a back side of emails and the lost leads. We just treat it a little bit differently. But anyways, like that's text and email. That could be automated, right? That side. But call wise, what we really want to like recommend, and if you can get 2 calls a day for 7 days and then 1 call a day for 14 days until they tell you to fuck off, like that's basically what it is,
Say
right?
that
Like
say that
that's
again because I think that's a good writer downer. So
yeah. 2 calls a day for the first 7 days is a lead. 1 call a day for 14 days after that. So
yeah.
that's 20, no, 21 days until they tell you to fuck off, basically, is what we say. And we just look, man, we're going through it right now. At my gym, we lost our caller. We lost him 3 weeks ago. He entered the police academy, and we're like struggling right now, like sales wise. Like it's
Yeah.
bad. So we just
Dude, it's
hired somebody else.
when you get that full-time like person doing sales all the time and they go on vacation or they leave, it's
Yeah.
like, oh shit. Because you're used to like such a high volume of conversions, then it's like, oh fuck, like conversions start to slow down, the pipeline starts piling up, like it gets rough.
Yeah, and like that's why systems are important too, because and I'll be completely transparent, like our system's pretty old because we just kind of build everybody else's. We don't really use ours
Right.
that much. And I just relied on this kid to do what he was doing, but it wasn't really systemized as much as it should have been because he was just doing his own thing. And now we're in a really bad spot because of that,
So they
you
say like the
know?
electrician's house has no lights, right?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's true for sure.
So
Um,
I always like to give like some really tactical stuff. So the prospecting, you do a 21 day series. It's probably like the every day for 21 days, there's some series of like text or email or maybe, a couple
yeah,
break days in between. And then the call series is twice a day, every day, maybe like morning and afternoon,
yeah,
every day for the first week, and then once a day for 14 days. And you might not even know this. This might be venturing into another area of work. Have you noticed a measurable difference in pickup rates at different
yeah.
times of the day or days of the week?
Oh, and different times of the day and days of the week. Yeah. Well, in terms of different times, I think definitely like that 4 to 8 p.m. is more of a sweet spot. But I think that's changed the last couple of years, though. That's what I always believed in, but personally. But I think with people working from home now, it's
Yeah.
kind of random. Like there's no really, I would like to do a study on it. We definitely could because we have all the gyms and the CRMs. We probably could do that. But I think it's definitely changing. And not only that, I mean, look, I'll still hammer my team to make calls, but I think a lot of people rather just honestly, I hate to say it, get text messages too. And I feel like
Yeah.
that's changing too a little bit, like calls. I mean, we're still going to call to death until we change our minds, but I think that's going to shift over the next couple of years.
Yeah. I don't disagree. I think especially there's a bunch of like spam filtration stuff. Like Apple just released that new update.
Yeah,
But again, we're in the same boat. Like we're going to keep calling until there's definitive data that like
yeah,
calls don't work. And right now the calls still work. So, all right. So on the member journey side, let's go to pillar two. What's the like basic function that you need to, and I've got my own opinions on this because this is where like at scale we've really tried to
yeah.
improve. It doesn't always show up in every gym, but what would you tell anybody that's like, all right, I got to improve the member experience from the moment they sign up to 6 months in?
Yeah, I think it's like, just don't have it in your head. Write it down on paper. Because I've been in so many masterminds over the years where like I had this whole like process and I even wrote it down on paper, but it was like I didn't put it into any automation. So it was like always so inconsistent. So just be consistent with it, really. But I mean, the main thing, obviously, like a nice like directional welcome email, like what to expect next. Like, I think that's huge.
Yeah.
A referral axe should obviously be in there so you can just double your members. Google review, which a lot of people
Make
don't
it sound
have
so
those.
easy. Just put a referral ask in an email and double your membership.
Yeah, I know. I know. If it was that easy.
Yeah.
Um, Google review, like a lot of people don't have this stuff, right? And there's one gym, the Strength Feed in North Carolina that we work with. Like they doubled their Google reviews in 1 year. Like went
Yeah.
from like 120 to 240 just because we had this on. Like that's it. You don't have to do anything for it. It's just asking your members who already like you and trust you to do something for you. It's really simple, right?
Now, what interval would you recommend doing a referral ask and a Google review? Is it like referral ask on day one?
We do. I know you guys like day one. We always do it like at point of sale. I think that's huge in person. But in terms of like text message or email automation, we do usually 7 days referral, 14 days Google review because they're, strike them while they're hot. They're still like excited about it, right? I think that's key. And then the other stuff is more like internal notifications where you could set tasks to your staff. So I think this is like what sets us apart, what sets a good gym apart is being on point with this stuff. For like 30 days, handwritten letter to that person, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to say like, all right, let's do handwritten letters, but if it's just doing it random, it's kind of pointless. But if you can do it like 30 days and then like, 1 year or like on day 150, I'm getting a t-shirt and a free upgrade. Like you could also use it to help your, climb the sales ladder as well, right? Well, you're still helping the client out that, I think like, the welcome email, the Google reviews, the referral acts, like those are like 100% staples. And then it's like, what do you want to put into your members' experience at your gym? And then we can help you automate that process for you.
Yeah. Yeah. The biggest thing that I've realized with you guys, I used to do all this shit myself. Like even though we
Yeah.
had agencies in the past and we had people we worked with, my brain works super fast. I've got ideas all the time for new stuff I want to try. And the problem with that is like we have 8 locations. It might get installed in one, but it's definitely not getting installed in all 8 because that's when I start to lose interest or like just get distracted. So really leaning on you guys has been one of the biggest assets has been like, hey, I've got this thing I want to do. Like I need this in all the gyms.
Mhm.
So even if you go from like, I have this idea in my notebook, like this is the concept. And that's another thing that we've done with you guys is like, hey, I want to, this is the vision that I have for our member experience that I want to install. And you guys can make sure all the like external things plug in together and all the workflows trigger each other. And that's where I think that's where a lot of gym owners get stuck, especially the ones that are not as tech savvy, leaning on like a company like you or just using Ignite.
No, it's tough. There's a lot of complication to it. Some stuff like seems really simple, but then you get into it, there's
Yeah.
a lot of things you have to worry about, inside of a system. So,
Yeah. It's always like I mean you've seen with us like the speed to lead tracking, the days like the time a lead has been the sale velocity, the sales cycle length, shit like that. It's just way more nuanced once you get behind the scenes in the CRM. All
oh
right, so
yeah.
that's member journey wise, like welcome email, touch point for referral, touch point for Google review. Now reactivation, what do you see as the most effective, like long tail reactivation series or just process that gym owners should follow?
Yeah, I don't think this part should be automated. I really don't. So when I say that, like automated outbound, this should be automated to your team, I think is what should happen. So like, setting tasks to your staff, like Mike's been out of the gym for 30 days, give him a call, check in to see how he's doing, and not being like super pushy for it at this point, right? Because he just left the gym anyways. But that's what we do more is on that side is more internal at this point. So it's like 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, reaching out to them. I think after a month, we always are going back and forth with this stuff, but like month one, not really an offer, just a real check-in phone call with them just to see how they're doing. After that, then they can get some offers like on month two. I think any kind of low barrier offer at that point is fine because they already were a member. Just get them back in the gym if they
Right.
get back into the swing of things because with fitness, you're fighting so many things. Like why we pick this industry, I have no idea, right?
All
Because
right.
like it's the fear, right? Like the fear is the number one thing we're fighting against, right? These people like getting back in. Not only that, then it's like, consistency, their time. That's super hard to deal with. And then people get in rhythms and out of rhythms like physically too. I mean, I do myself as well. Like, like sometimes you're not feeling it every single day, right? So like we're fighting against so many things. It gets super tough. But yeah, I think like this side, the reactivation side, should always be more about like internal pings to your team, so then they can personally reach out. They don't want to have automated stuff. Now, it's not to say that they can't be in your newsletter and stuff like that. Of course, like they should be in those like general emails, but it shouldn't be in like aggressive um like offer emails. I don't think, at
Right.
least right away. You know.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, we built this in one of our CRMs, man, a long time ago, but we had a cancellation form and they would select the reason for canceling. And we would basically have a different like follow-up series based on that. So for example, if it was money, like they selected it was too expensive, that person you don't want to hit with like discounts all the time. So
Yeah.
we kind of like we had a different and now we don't have this because it just across all the locations it's just a little too complicated for
Yeah.
where we're trying to go. If it was money, it would be like we would send them like just check-in messages or ping to reach out, but it was not a discount coupon. If it was an injury termination, there would be a
Personal reach out, probably.
personal reach out every like shorter timeline because sometimes it's like a sprained ankle, sometimes it's a surgery, sometimes it's having a baby, so it's like it's a shorter timeline of reaching out, like maybe 2 weeks, maybe 6 weeks. If it was like schedules are crazy, it would be a little bit more of a longer timeline because it's like maybe seasonally their schedules changed. So again,
Yeah.
that's probably way more advanced than anybody should go. But the idea is like the reasons people leave should dictate the way that you follow up in the future.
100%. And like that's like next level. That's like really good, like having it like that. But just have an assistant. But a lot of gym owners, like when we talk to them, like they're almost like pissed that people leave, and it's like they don't even want people back, and it's like, come on, like that's part of your
Yeah.
business. Like you should be,
Yeah.
like I get it, but at the same time, like it's to be expected. Like it's gonna happen, and I hate to say it, but it's only gonna get worse. There's so many gyms popping up, and people will hop around to different gyms. Like it's kind of how it is right now, So we don't, we never used to sell like 2 times a week so much, or even 1 time a week. At Next Four, we've been selling a lot. A lot of these people are doing Pilates twice a week, and they're coming to us once a week, and they're going to Orange Theory once a week, and that's fine. You just got to find us a place for them. It is what it is.
Yeah, so it's funny. Our market, the markets that we're in, we don't see so much of that. I think maybe
Okay.
it might be more of a city thing,
Yeah.
especially if
Yeah.
you've got a little bit of a younger demographic. But I do notice, like, not only do the trainers or the gym owners get like a little butthurt when people leave and like write people off. I think the members feel a certain way too. Like whether they feel embarrassed, like they're not. It's very unlikely that
Yeah.
they are going to just go out of their way to contact you again because a lot of times I think they're like, do they not like me anymore? Like
You're right.
they
Yeah.
assume that the trainer doesn't like them anymore because they left, or they left and was like, oh no, I'm gonna keep doing this on my own, and then they balloon up and they gain 50 pounds and then they're embarrassed. So
Yeah.
like you've got to like put your own bullshit aside if
You
you're
gotta, you gotta initiate it. Yeah,
yeah
no, you're no, you're right, Devin. That's a great point because that's what I try telling my team too all the time because people are like embarrassed and like they do almost feel bad that they left and don't want to come back. Sometimes just calling that person, like you never know what's gonna happen, right? They might just be happy to hear from you and then they feel like, okay, they don't hate me, and then bang, they're back in your doors and things are normal. That happens all the time.
yeah. What are some of the biggest things that gym owners aren't doing that they should with their CRM or systemizing? Or maybe,
Yeah.
let me rephrase it. Maybe are there developments that are new or coming that they should really be looking out for or installing?
I don't think developments. I mean, there's a lot of AI that's going to change the game soon. I mean, I'm really curious, and we're trying to stay ahead of it as much as we can. But how like a CRM is going to look in 2 years? I think it's going to be way more customized and like systemized for your business because there's all these AI tools you can like that thing you built in like an hour. I forget what you called it, but
Yeah, the
it
sales
was the
puddle.
fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Like people can do stuff like that. People can code now. They call it vibe coding. I don't know if you ever heard of that word before, but
No.
so vibe coding is like people. Then we do this, but we're a little bit better than a vibe coder. But like we could code websites now using AI, and that's pretty crazy. You can build some crazy stuff. So like if you can do things like that, like and AI is only multiplying, so like it's really just gonna have a snowball effect that I think is gonna be a huge change, in the near future. Way more customized, I think.
Yeah, so you and I have talked a lot about AI because for a while it was like we need it, we need to install it in our sales systems.
Nah.
What's your take on AI today, January, whatever, 12th, 2026?
In terms of like lead follow up, you're saying?
Yeah, it's AI sales calls, AI lead follow-ups, stuff like that.
Yeah, I don't think for gyms, I don't think sales calls yet. I don't think like I have this guy, is a great friend, and he has a really good business, good agency who has these voice AI callers, and it works for him, but he mostly works with plumbers and like HVAC people. So like, there's no emotional, there's not an emotional buy when you're buying, have somebody come fix your air conditioning unit, right? Fitness is more emotional. So I don't think call wise, it's going to be anytime soon, but it will happen eventually because I think everybody's going to be like getting used to talking to robots. I really do eventually. In terms of like SMS, if you can get it to really operate how you want to, then yeah, I mean, why not? Because it's pretty hard to tell, honestly, at some points. We've had it full SMS at some points, but we ran into some issues. It was more like different platform issues. The actual product was pretty good. But I mean, yeah, as of right now, I think human touch because this is an emotional sale,
Yeah.
and.
And I agree 100%, especially on the SMS side. We've done it. It constantly breaks. There's constant
Yeah.
little glitches. We do it inside high level or the Ignite Entrepreneurs
Mhm.
CRM. Um, and it's like it runs sometimes when it's not supposed to run. So we built it for Gauge strength training is like an after hours and weekend bot. So if
Yeah.
Chris is on vacation or it's the weekend or it's nighttime, we wanted them to get those touch points. And again, we just saw it like saying some weird stuff sometimes. So he was having to spend a shit ton of time like tinkering with it and you know,
I think it looks pretty good. I see it sometimes though. It looks pretty good, some of the responses that it has. It
yeah,
does. I see that. But the problem is though, like as long as the gym owner and you're okay with a little bit of mistakes, then it's okay.
right,
Because mistakes are going to happen with that stuff, especially right now. It's going to happen. Like
right.
some people are like really like scary if like the wrong text sends out and stuff like that. And like I'm so numb to that stuff now. Like we're
Yeah.
I don't even like, I'm sure you are too. Like
Yeah.
we don't, like obviously we don't want that stuff to happen, but like it is what it is.
Yeah, and that's this is a little bit of a different topic, but it's almost like we've had again. I'm so numb to this. I'm so numb to like bothering people with marketing and like
Yeah.
saying the wrong thing or like at a certain point, you've got to let good enough be okay. Like you can't
Uh-huh.
stress about like, oh, our marketing message went to a client that just left or a new member got one of our offer deals. It's like if you're sweating every single one of those little things, like you're not gonna last very long because it's
You're never going to make big strides. You'll
yeah,
never be at the top because you have, and that's like this, and that's like just like business in general, right? Like if you're like worried about perfection, right, you're never going to take the chance to get to where you want to go to, right? Like, look, should you strive for perfection? I think you should strive close to it. You shouldn't strive to be, because if you were perfect in every area, you're probably not doing enough or working hard enough. Honestly, that's how I
probably
feel.
not a probably not a gym owner either.
Yeah, you're definitely not a gym owner. That's for sure. Yeah,
Um,
that's for sure.
so we switched to Ignite. One of the big selling points was just the level of responsiveness. Again, I've worked with a lot of agencies, and I'm not going to, mention them. Some of them I had a very bad experience with. Some of the ones that were like, "We'll get you 50 members." I'll give you one
Nah.
example without saying any names. It was an agency. One of their promises is like, "We'll get you to 100 members in your first 6 months, or we'll work for free until we do." The leads were so bad that 6 months in, I think the promise was 100 members in 6 months. The leads were so bad that we got to that 6 month mark. We didn't reach 100 members. We were gained like 30 people, I think. Um, they did work for free, but I fucking fired them because I didn't even
Because it
want their
wasn't,
free work.
yeah, why would you?
Yeah, I'm saving whatever it was $1,000 on the agency cost, but like I'd rather work with an agency and pay them and get better leads. So, we worked with Kiss for a long time, and we made the switch to you because of the level of like responsiveness, the customization that you were able to offer, the problem solvability that you were able to offer. So, if anybody's listening that and again, Kiss performed for us really well. I can speak
Mhm.
really highly of the lead quality and a lot of the stuff that they did. For us, we were ready to try something new. But if somebody was thinking about bringing on an agency, what would you tell them it's like working with you? Like, what are the promises that you can make working with Ignite?
Yeah, I always say this, like a great CRM like should give you an ROI back on your time. And that's it. Like for the CRM side of it. So it's a time ROI. Like that's what a CRM should do for you. Like people ask, like some new people that don't have CRMs always ask me, like, what's the ROI look like for this? Like, for monetary wise, nothing really. I mean, maybe something, but we can't really draw it back to this. But time, it should give you back time of your day. It should be operating for you behind the scenes of your business. Like that's how that side should look for you. In terms of the ads, what we can promise is, there's three areas in ads, right? There's going to be your market, which is unknown right now, right? The new gyms market, the new gyms follow up, which is unknown for us, and that's huge in the process of sales. And then it's our work, which we're confident in, right? So our work is just, we have somebody on our team that's more handles more the messaging. His name is Jay, and he's great on that side. So, he'll bring and we'll bring in a new account and he'll just hammer the messaging side of what the gym wants to speak about. And like obviously we have like our core problems that we test out across the market. We have like 5 core problems, people being tired, body image, confidence, right? So we always testing that across the market. But if one, and then we'll see what works best in your market. But if some gym wants to speak a certain way, like we'll craft it for you. Like that's completely fine because that's how you want to speak about your business. We'll also give our advice though of this might end of the day, We want to give you as many at bats as possible, right? In terms of lead quality, there's only so much you can do, but it's really all in the messaging, right? Like if you have good messaging, that's where it's going to come out of.
Yeah.
There's no like magic button you can press on Meta, right? And I always say this too, is like, you know, you can't just you can't just expect all the leads to be good. You have to just go in there knowing. I had this conversation with my team this morning for one of my gyms because we just had a little bit of a follow up in the sales issue the last couple of weeks. Like, there's going to be bad leads. Like, we know that, right? Like, can we just grab 2 to 4 people per week? That's it. That's all we need. Like 2 people. So just know that you can win in ads by signing up 2 people a week. Like, that's actually really good.
Let's talk about that because I think this is really, really important. So, one, we generate across both locations, I think we do about 250 between all eight locations, 250 leads a week. Um, I would say about 50, 30% go either completely non-responsive or
Uh,
are bad leads. Bad leads meaning they don't speak English, they don't live in the service area, they opt out right away. They don't they when they do respond, they say they don't recall opting into
yeah,
anything. But and again, the conversion rate has fallen every year lower and lower
yeah.
of like meta lead to conversion. Now, what I will say, email and SMS marketing does very well for us. We do a lot of email marketing, we do a lot of SMS marketing. And where do you think those leads came from?
Yeah,
They came from
exactly.
Meta. So it's
Exactly.
like, and it's also really fucking hard, long tail attribution to track like really
Mhm.
closely what exactly did this lead come from? What email, like what number of emails did they see that like finally moved them over to
That's the tough part. That's the
right?
tough part is tracking that part. The first attribution part is source
Yeah,
is okay from Meta, but like from Google, it's almost impossible to really get the number down.
yeah,
But no, but from Meta, I mean, no, like that's just the reality. Like 3%, they say like 3% of people in your market are ready to buy now, and 3% is really all you actually need. So if you're really measuring like how much your cost is on the ads, right? If you're measuring, and I have a whole calculator for this too, like built out. So if anybody wants it, you just hit me up. I'll send it to you. But because it's super helpful, I have to walk people through this. Your EFT, obviously, that matters, like how much you charging recurring, so you can build it up and stack it up. Your retention, right, or LTV, however you want to measure it, either
yeah.
way. But in the end of at the end of the day, like as long as you're outpacing it, that's all that matters because once you start snowballing it and you get like 30 people on, I mean, you have 30 people paying $300 a month, you're not spending that much on ads. You're outpacing it for sure. So
So yeah, it's just I wanted to make that point because a lot of people get frustrated. We're like, the leads aren't converting, they're so bad, and it's like, be patient, like keep
no.
it in your system, do a good job of segmenting your lists, and keep like trickling out those marketing emails. Again, email marketing is still alive and
Hmm.
well, very well.
Hmm.
Um, and then again, like you kind of mentioned it, you never know. Like sometimes people will see our ads and then go to our website, right? Or vice
Yeah.
versa.
No,
Like
no, that's for
you've
sure.
installed some like pixel stuff where if they go to my website now, allegedly, they should be seeing more of my ads.
Yeah.
Google is a fucking nightmare, which is amazing to me that Google can't like it must be on purpose somehow that they don't allow like really good Google ads conversion tracking.
Well, it's not necessarily that. It's more like if somebody Googles you and they see the ad, they might just scroll down and then click your gym or then go to your website. So
Right.
that's where the hard part is. But if you do have the URL parameters set up properly, you can catch some of them, but not all of them. But no, but you're right though. That's also like somebody sees your ad and then they're going to go to your website. Like it might, so it's almost impossible to catch every single thing. But that's why I like to look at it as a whole. Like if we're spending 5K a month, like, what's our acquisition? And then, what's our LTV and, what is that ratio like? And that's what we like to look at too.
Yeah, the term, and it's actually a little bit of a mindset shift, is you guys are media buyers, right?
Yeah.
So for anybody listening, like it's important to understand that term. Media buying is essentially like you're deciding where to invest in real estate for your advertising. It, if you look at it as a whole, from like a holistic point of view, it's a hell of a lot easier to be like, all right, $5,000 total per month is generating this many leads. Because then it like all the like, oh, well, I saw them on Facebook, they went to the website.
Mhm.
I saw a Google ad, but I went to the website. Or I saw a Facebook ad, but I called the gym right away. It all comes out in the wash, right?
Yeah.
If you stop looking at it just as this meta lead didn't convert and you look at it a little bit more holistically, like you guys are media buyers, that money that's being invested is coming back in this return amount.
Yeah. No, you're 100% right about that. That's how you got to look at it. Like even the other day when you sent over, like you guys are doing that stuff on like a bar coaster, like that's another way. Like, that's actually probably a bad example because you can measure that from the QR code.
Right.
But who's to say somebody saw it and then they just typed in your website on their
Yeah.
phone at the bar, right? So it's like, so I guess that's, it's hard to measure that too. So it's like, I guess it's like, having that whole marketing web set up, like having all the sources set up and just not making it too overwhelming for yourself. As long as you can capitalize on all the areas and you have fulfillment behind all those, meaning like, there's, workflows built behind all of this, then it's like the more the better, right? Just have so many options that somebody could opt into your business and, and see your business.
Yeah. So to wrap this up, what does somebody get? What's the dream that somebody is able to accomplish working with Ignite?
The dream, for me, like for like when I talk to a lot of gym owners, like the main thing I'm gonna promise them is just a lot of clarity, right? But we'll be honest with them too, like completely transparent. It's gonna be a learning curve in the first month or two. Might be a little bit of a tough like onboarding experience, especially if you never used a CRM before, right? But after that, you're gonna have systems working for your business, right? More clarity of where people are coming from, how many leads, all the data. Um, and then, systems first. Let's get that down. Let's make sure you have good fulfillment processes, and then we can pour it on with leads. And then once you guys are good with that, then you get more sales reps, and then you can keep on multiplying your business.
That's awesome. So, Mike, anybody wants to reach out to you and try to connect with you to do a consult or learn about Ignite, what's the best way for them to reach you?
Yeah, honestly, just head to our website, ignite-entrepreneurs.com, or you could email me, Mike at ignite-entrepreneurs.com.
All right, Mike, appreciate you coming on, man. This was great.
Thank you, Dev. Appreciate it.